Hello folks, Dan here from h2x, and today we'll be looking at how we can use the h2x system to apply underfloor heating and radiators to a project. So just to give you a bit of background on this particular project, we're talking about an old 18th century property that wants to upgrade its gas boiler to state-of-the-art underfloor heating on the ground floor and radiators on the first floor. And for this particular project, we'll be using the latest brand added to h2x, Castrads Radiators. Due to their wealth of fully customizable cast iron radiators that through h2x can be sized to rooms of every kind. So without further ado, let's dive into h2x and see how we can make this happen. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at how h2x automatically generates and adjusts its heat loss using the heat load tool. So let's add bed 3 to our calculations using the room selector, and do note the number of different room types that allow you to be even more precise. Now, as we can see, h2x has automatically started generating heating statistics for that room. So let's see how this information updates by adding a window. Note that now we have a source of heat loss in the room, h2x has automatically recalculated that room's statistics. This process saves you having to recalculate every time you want to make a change to your layouts, and ensures that your final exported plans are precise. So with this in mind, let's get started with adding our underfloor heating and upper floor radiators. First off, by changing to the Design tab, we can now see our equipment drop-down menu, and this is where we are going to select our desired heat pump. And with a simple click, we can place that heat pump in the desired location. This then gives us access to a range of different options in the heat pump's individual menu. With the heat pump set, all that remains on the first floor is to apply our underfloor heating. In order to access the underfloor heating manifold, change the drop-down option here from heating to underfloor heating. Now, as you can see, there are a few rooms here that don't have underfloor heating, so to add those rooms to our manifold, we are first going to select the room selection tool. And from here, just clicking on each room will automatically generate an S-plan for that room, connecting to the rest of your manifold. You can also see here that the underfloor heating has a wide range of different options that you can adjust to your liking. Now that we've got our underfloor heating mapped on the ground floor, let's move on to the radiators on our first floor. Now, before we can put our radiators in, there are a few more rooms that need piping. So to begin with, we're going to select the multiple pipes tool, and with a simple click and drag, we are going to draw out pipes to these rooms. With this done, let's insert our radiators and link them to our piping. This tab on the left allows us to select the model of radiator we're going to implement, and for this system, we're going to be using Castrads Radiators. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, Castrads as a service provides bespoke radiator sizing for each of their models, and this translates into an enormous range of models and sizes to choose from within h2x to make sure that your plans will absolutely include the correct sizing of radiator for your project. And for this larger room, we're going to be using 670mm. Now, just a quick note, this room is currently highlighted in red because h2x has detected that there's no heating currently being supplied to this room. So let's see what happens when we add our radiator. As we can see, the room is now highlighted in green, showing that it's receiving sufficient heat. Once the radiator is in place, we are then given the option to connect it to the rest of our piping system. And with that, the radiator is connected to our system. Now it's time to heat the other room, but as you can see, this room is much smaller. So we'll be using a different Castrads radiator for this room via our Insert Radiators menu. And we'll also be changing the height to 870mm. And just like the other radiator, the exact same process to get it linked up. You may also see that we got a bit of extra piping here that we don't need, so we're just going to delete that before we move on as well. And with that, both our ground floor and first floor heating layouts are complete. Time for some final checks. Using the Results tab, we can overview all of our layouts before exporting, where the entire system is correctly sized. This opens the Results tab on the right-hand side that allows us to view a range of elements separately or in combination with each other through a selection of tick box options. And if we just hover our cursor over our piping system, we can see a wide range of statistics from the pipe's diameter to the total heat load the piping can supply. And now if we just take a look at the ground floor and zoom in on our heat pump, we can see that the heat pump is automatically linked to the upper floor. So now that everything is in order, it's time to export our documents. When exporting from h2x, all information will be broken down into 4 highly concise and easy to use pieces of documentation. Alongside the actual designs, you can also export production schedules, and you can even brand these plans with your own logo, so anyone reading this sees this work as 100% yours. And if we just take a look here in particular, we have our development schedule for our Castrads radiators. Now let's move on to our building materials document. Our second document contains all necessary costs and building materials required in order to put your plans into action. A wide range of information collated into a single, easy-to-reference document. And here in the document's heat emitter section, we can see the specific costs of implementing our diverse range of Castrads radiators, complete with a model, size description, quantity, and cost. Next up, we have the System Design Report. This report goes through all system information and technical calculations involved in this project. And last but not least, our fourth document is a heat load report. That includes all heat load calculations involved in this project. And if I just scroll down here, you should get a pretty good idea of just how in-depth this information is. Down here, we can find our heat emitter summary, showing the overall effectiveness of our underfloor heating on the ground floor, and our Castrads radiators on the first floor. So in closing, that's how h2x revolutionizes the process of designing and implementing heating systems. From heat loss calculations to detailed reports, our platform takes care of every detail, saving you time, eliminating guesswork, and delivering professional results every time. Whether you're working on an 18th century home or a modern build, h2x is the tool you need to design systems with precision and ease. And don't forget, using h2x also gives you access to a wide range of quality brands like Castrads, directly built into the system. So when building with h2x, you not only have access to quality software, but also exceptional hardware. And if you'd like to get involved, book a free one-to-one demo with one of our specialists, and we can't wait to see what you create with h2x.